Also, new haircut. He's rocking it.
Like it.
I like it a lot.
You know who else is rocking their new haircut? Probably one of the players on the Chiefs, and they won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, you're really trying to steer this one.
This is the third or fourth transition into talking about the Super Bowl.
You know, I
Let's
just want to
do
make
it.
sure you're practicing your transitions.
Yeah,
really
okay,
well.
sure.
Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is by you. Welcome back to the Underqualified Knuckleheads Sports Podcast. I'm your co-host, as always, Daniel Keene. Alongside me is Mr. Andy Newman, back in the studio after a week off. How you doing today, Andy?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing better than I was last Friday, because last Friday I was dead tired after multiple days of working hard on a documentary that is coming out here soon for Ball State University PBS, or I guess it is Ball State PBS, right?
It is Ball State PBS.
Yeah. Let's go with that. About refugees, mostly from Afghanistan, but from all corners of the world that are residing in Bowling Green, Kentucky for some weird reason. You'll find out why they're in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and you'll find out what Muncie's going to do about it soon when the documentary airs.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I like it.
A whole week in Bowling Green. Sounds fun.
It was like 3 days.
Oh, it was 3 days.
With your girl Lisa.
Lisa Renzi.
Yeah, she's
Lisa Renzi wrote.
She is the DN.
She's
DN
the
advisor.
unified media
there we
advisor.
Go.
Sorry,
Yeah,
the way you said your girl.
I'm sorry, no. With your individual. How about that? With your leader. There we go.
Oh boy.
Yes. Sorry. Okay.
She's also in charge of you guys.
Oh, that's true. But she's like a direct advisor to the Daily News, though. Like, you work with her much closer than we do.
she's hands on with everybody.
Yeah, she's also our leader as well.
Best advisor.
Shout out Lisa.
Best advisor in the country.
Shout out Lisa.
But yeah, so Lisa was there. Terry was there.
Terry was there. Shout out Terry as well.
Terry Heifetz.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of other Newslink people.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like a really great time. It looked fun. Fun.
You know what? We shot video of a shipping place.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
And grand.
It was cold. Hey, you know what? Kentucky 55 degrees is like Indiana like 22 degrees. It was confusing.
Really?
Yes, I was there. I looked at my watch. It says 55 degrees, and I'm feeling like I am literally outside and dying, like in the cold. It's crazy.
Like, you sure it didn't say like 55
no,
degrees
50,
Muncie, and you were thinking it was?
No, everybody's had 55 degrees, and it was very weird. Maybe it was 55 degrees Muncie.
It might have been.
No way. My watch just my location.
Well, it was 55 degrees in Muncie this week, and
not anymore.
I loved that fall spring for the 3 days we had it.
One day, I feel like more than anything.
Yeah,
I was sweating because it was 66 degrees outside. Walk out my dorm today, 29 degrees, snowing.
And I didn't really pack for that. I didn't dress for that when I left the house this morning, so I walked outside.
Is this the only thing you're wearing? You're just wearing the sweater? That's it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a T-shirt under it, but like usually, usually in 25 degrees, it'd be sweater and coat.
Coat, yeah.
My dad always says, take a coat even if you don't think you'll need it.
Shout out Mr. Keene.
No, he's got a whole thing about it. Like growing up, if we'd go to church and you left the house not wearing a coat, he goes, "Where's your coat?" I'm like, "I don't need it. I'm not that cold. We're just walking in." And he goes, "Bring a coat. Just bring a coat just in case."
My mom would always do that same thing.
So now there's actually an extra coat in the back of my car. It's just like an old coat that I don't use very often, that if I ever need a coat, it's in my car. So
there you go.
Shout out
Keene
Dad.
mentality.
Love the lessons from Mr. Keene. About coats.
Love the cold opens. You know what? You know who else appreciates these kind of like just little conversations?
My
at the
dad.
beginning? That and Ben Hamilton. Shout out Ben Hamilton.
Ben Hamilton?
Yes. If Ben is listening right now, shout out Ben for listening to this instead of your news that apparently depresses you every day.
Oh boy.
This is, you know what? It's a little break.
We'll talk
about different things.
We'll talk about different things.
And the USFL, XFL, NFL.
Yeah, Ben Hamilton and I grew up like 20 minutes away from each other.
Really?
He grew up in Heartland, Michigan, and I grew up in Brighton, Michigan.
Ben, didn't he go to a different high school though?
Wait. Ben Hamilton, he works in. Oh, we're gonna bleep it out because I can't say it. Yeah. He's the RA.
No.
Oh, am I thinking that
Ben Hamilton from my Ben Hamilton?
Who am I thinking? You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Ah, shoot. Benjamin. I swear.
No. Ben Hamilton is the RA with me.
I swear, Ben's last name is like the
No, I
bleep
don't
it out,
know.
but the RA's last name is Ben Hamilton.
I don't know.
Wait, I gotta look this up now.
Okay, never mind.
Either way, keep going.
Anyway,
You're Ben Hamilton.
Yes. Anyway, shout out Ben Hamilton. Apparently, Daniel thinks you're another individual that works in another location. But shout out Ben for listening to the podcast and for appreciating our little talks. But I don't really know what this talk is right now. I think you're just spacing on a different person that works somewhere else.
It's totally a different person.
Yeah,
but now
you know who I'm talking about.
But now
right?
now I'm dedicated to finding him.
You know who I'm talking about, right? You know who Ben Hamilton
Ben
is.
Hamilton. We had Ed High with Ben Hamilton.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes.
We are thinking of a complete two.
You're thinking of a different person. I'm thinking of the correct person.
I don't
with
know
the
why.
correct name.
Okay, much apologies, Ben Hamilton, but my mind immediately went to shoot. I'm gonna look him up.
We'll find him out later. We'll figure it out. But whatever. Shout out Ben. Enjoy your coffee and enjoy your walk. And I'm so sorry that Daniel is stupid.
This
and
Ben.
I don't know who that is.
You've met him.
I've never met that man in my life.
You're lying.
No, I literally have not.
absolutely
No,
lying.
I literally have
You've
not met that man
100%
before.
met the guy.
I've met Ben Hamilton. That's not Ben Hamilton.
It's not. No, this is not Ben Hamilton. But you know this guy.
Sure. It's not Ben Hamilton, though. Anyway, okay. You want to get into the Super Bowl now?
Super Bowl was great.
Yeah. Jeez. Okay. I'm going to title this episode Ben Hamilton.
Who is Ben Hamilton?
Who is, I know who he is. You clearly don't. Even though you should and you do.
No, I know him,
Yes,
but
I know you do.
I don't know why. I saw the other Ben the other day. I saw him this week.
His last name's probably not Hamilton, though.
It's probably
I would almost guarantee his last name is not Hamilton.
This is like some Inception stuff. Okay, so get this on.
Okay.
Not Thursday. On Tuesday. I freelanced for the Herald Bulletin. I was driving back from Anderson. I was covering a game in Anderson, and you've gone to my house. You know Bethel Avenue.
Yeah.
And then my house is on Glenwood. You turn after Bethel Avenue Apartments. So Tuesday night, I'm getting home at 11:45 because I was covering out in Anderson.
Tuesday.
Yeah. This Tuesday, and I see the apartments. I see Bethel Avenue Apartments, and I turn left. And I just drive down the road like I'm going to my house, and all of a sudden, none of these houses are look like what are on my street.
You just went down the wrong street. Okay.
I went down the wrong street, but I was so 100,000% sure that I went down the right street that I felt like I just Twilight zoned. And then I turned left because I think I went on a road past my house road.
Yeah.
And then I end up out by the baseball fields. And then I have to go all the way back to the nearest landmark that I see, which is Botswan. I just see Botswan, which is your dorm, and I drive as close as I can to that.
Yeah.
And then I get back on the road and I go back my normal route and I make it home. But it was the weirdest moment of my life.
Shout out Michigan drivers.
Whoa there.
Not as bad as Ohio.
I know how to drive. I was just late at night. It was a very Inception moment, and it was just this Ben Hamilton.
I don't know if
thing.
it was an Inception moment, more just your brain is gone at some point in times of the day, and at that point in time, it was gone.
Tuesday was a long day.
Yeah, it sounds
Tuesday
like it.
was
It sounds like a long day. Okay, you know what else was a long day? Super Bowl day.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Sure.
We spent 7 minutes and 49 seconds talking about Ben Hamilton.
You know what? He'll get a really good kick out of this. He will, yes. He's not going to love the fact that he forgot who he was.
It's not okay. I didn't forget who he was. I just thought when you said Ben, we're talking about a different Ben.
Yeah, there we go. We're
so
talking about
that Ben and I grew up. He grew up 20-ish minutes away from me in Heartland, Michigan. I grew up in Brighton, Michigan.
You know who really enjoyed the Super Bowl? Ben Hamilton. Anyway.
Let's call Ben right now. Ask him what his thoughts were on the Super Bowl.
You know what? He actually did want to hop on the podcast and talk about it, and then I completely forgot to ask him. So,
and bring
you know
his 2 Starbuckses?
Yes.
So Andy and I all took Ed High together, which is a class we had to take last semester. And every class he'd show up with 2 coffees.
Dude is a coffee.
Dude is a coffee guy
master,
through and through.
I don't know.
Also, new haircut, he's rocking it.
Like it.
I like it a lot.
You know who else is rocking their new haircut? Probably one of the players on the Chiefs, and they won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, you're really trying to steer this one.
This is the third or fourth transition into talking about the Super Bowl.
I just want to make sure you're practicing your transitions.
Yeah,
really
okay,
well.
sure, fine.
We're gonna talk about this halfway through though.
Whatever. Okay, he's pointing at his stupid non-Sierra Mist.
You guys remember Sierra Mist? They rebranded it.
Everyone knows.
And I didn't.
Okay.
The whole first week, I thought there was just a new drink, a new lemon lime drink, and then somebody goes, "Really weird that they rebranded Sierra Mist for that," and I was upset.
You know who else is rebranding? The Kansas City Chiefs is a winning franchise. After they won the Super Bowl against the Philadelphia Eagles, is there anyone on the live? It's Ben. It is Ben.
Ben,
what did he say?
He said, "I have never worked in that hall."
I know.
Ben, I'm so sorry. When he said there's another Ben who said he's listened to our podcast.
Okay.
So when Andy said Ben, I thought that Ben. And my sincerest apologies. We'll have you on the pod sometime.
You know who else I don't know. I'm
Super Bowl.
Whose name is Ben that plays on the Super Bowl?
There was probably a Ben.
There's someone of them, and they're probably Super Bowl champion because they're on the Chiefs.
Let's
go. Let's get into it.
What did you do for Super Bowl Sunday?
You know what? By the way, let's talk about that for Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday, I've been for the past 5 years or so trying to rebrand it as a holiday. Like I'll go up to people and be like, "Happy Super Bowl."
Yeah. I also say that.
You say Happy Super Bowl?
Yeah, I went to the gas station before I went over to my friend's house where we were watching it, and I bought a Diet Coke, and I was like, "Happy Super Bowl."
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "Huh?" And I was like,
"That you know what? That works for me personally. It
should be a federal holiday.
It is such a huge American event, I feel like, and I don't know, maybe not international. I mean, there's definitely a good portion of people that watch it.
Patriotic enough to make Nick Sirianni cry.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. But I think people pay more attention to it than Flag Day, and Flag Day is a national holiday. So let's make the Super Bowl the national holiday.
I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do it. And Monday. Let's have both days.
Yeah. I think it should only be you should only not have work or not have school or whatever if you live in the city that one of the cities. So Philly and Kansas City were the two cities that would not have had it. Because if you lost, you don't want to go to
school.
Yeah. But if you won, you're definitely not going to bed till work tomorrow.
No.
So you shouldn't go to work tomorrow.
Yeah. I was looking at the perspective from children, but adults also make sense as well.
Adults also make sense.
I don't know if Pizza Hut would call off no pizza today for
but I don't know. I'm not a type of person who takes a lot of days off, so I'd imagine if I had a job that has you only get a certain amount of days off, I would make sure that day's off.
Yeah, I get you.
I just take it off, sleep in.
But I think there should be a strong push for the Super Bowl to be a national holiday. But anyway, getting into the game itself, fantastic game personally. From at least from what I saw, other people. Shout out Kyle Blackburn for whatever reason thought it wasn't very good.
What planet is he on?
He's the wrong one apparently.
100%.
But I think the very large general consensus is that it was a fantastic game, very back and forth, and obviously that call at the end there. A lot of people are talking about how it cost the Eagles the game.
You call that. Everybody calls that.
Yes. Personally, I think it was a correct call. Again, maybe shouldn't have been called in the where it was, it was kind of they were kind of calling it hands off a little bit all game. It was more of a laissez-faire kind of game.
I think the way you call a game needs to stay consistent,
and I think that may be an
I think that was the inconsistency.
Yeah,
not because it's not a foul; it's a foul every day and night. Yeah. But if you have a game where most of that game you're not calling that foul, but then when it matters in the fourth quarter you call that foul, then you're like, okay.
I agree with that thought process. And by the way, we're talking about the hold by James Bradberry on Juju Smith-Schuster in the last 1 minute and 42 seconds or so of the game that ended up basically just letting the Chiefs run out the clock and then kick a field goal to win it all.
Can I say, though?
Yeah.
I think if that call doesn't go through, it's fourth down, they kick the field goal, Chiefs still win the game.
I think so as well. I would have personally rather have seen that because how awesome of a game that was, 35-35 with less than 2 minutes left to go.
It was a great game.
Great game on both sides. I mean, and again, as the Chiefs have talked, or not the Chiefs, as the Eagles have talked about, all members of their organization are like, hey, credit Chiefs, we lost, they outplayed us. One play doesn't define the whole game. I think there was multiple plays that kind of ended up causing this. There was one, obviously, the Jalen Hurts fumble. I think is probably something that you look at. The call is a determining factor, sure, but I don't think it is the whole game. And then I think really who this is on is the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. Have you seen that video that guy posted on TikTok about how one of the most important games of the Chiefs season was the Eagles game versus the Jaguars?
Yeah.
Yeah, so and for viewers who haven't, or listeners, not viewers, I guess maybe viewers, my dad watches it on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
I forgot we put it on YouTube sometimes.
Thanks. Yeah. I don't know. I put it on YouTube purely because, like, if there are older people that don't sorry, Dad, if that don't have Spotify or Apple, which my dad has neither.
See, my dad listens to it on. Actually, what do you listen to it on, Dad?
We don't know.
I was
maybe YouTube. I don't know.
I was gonna make a joke about how tech savvy my dad is, but I love you, Dad, but you're also not that tech savvy.
My dad is kind of tech savvy. He just doesn't have Apple, and he doesn't want to buy Spotify.
My parents don't need my help turning TVs on anymore. Like, they both completely understand.
My dad
now.
is far beyond that. My mom, different story. But my dad is pretty actually tech knowledgeable. He just doesn't have Spotify and doesn't have an Apple.
My dad is so good at math. Like, that sounds really like
math
basic, but he does like math in his head faster than anybody I've ever met. But the way he does it is funny because he'll explain it to you as he's doing it, and then you'll also understand it. But then if somebody asks you to do it by yourself, no clue.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I learned something about your dad.
I learned something about your dad.
Yeah.
Oh, look at us go.
Wow. But anyway, so my dad watches it on YouTube, and I think possibly sometimes my grandparents do, because it's easier, because they can just turn on the TV, play. There you go.
No, it works.
Or on the phone. I think it's just simpler method of transaction. Anyway, what was I talking? Oh, the Eagles.
The Eagles.
The watching of the TikTok and whatever. Okay, if you didn't see that video, there was a play that the Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars had, and actually it's probably more Doug Peterson drew up, where in this play, the Chiefs used it twice against the Eagles in the red zone to get touchdowns on both times, wide open players in the flat. So essentially, a guy would flare out, one of the wide receivers or running backs would flare out towards the corner, cut back inside, and then the safety of the Chiefs, I do believe it was Darius Slay, both times, would follow that receiver back inside,
and then he pops back
and
out.
Flip his hips and walk and continue going, and the guy flips back out.
Yeah, we saw it on the Sky Moore touchdown.
Sky Moore
representing the Mid-American Conference. Sky Moore, Western Michigan.
I do believe it was a Sky Moore touchdown and it was another one. I think it might have been a Pacheco touchdown or McCole Hardman. No, it wasn't McCole Hardman. It was somebody. There were two touchdowns that were wide open in the flat. That
I will say, the Sky Moore touchdown, they were actually in the wrong formation. Did you read about that? So Sky Moore was actually lined up on the wrong side.
But it still worked.
Yeah.
But it was the same. I
still think it would have worked, but I thought it was really interesting because Patrick Mahomes gave he was like mic'd up on the side, and he goes, I pointed to, I think he said KT, to motion him in motion, but then he pointed me the other way because Sky was on the other side.
Yeah.
And, hey, it worked out.
Well, yeah. I mean, they still ran the exact same out in out kind of thing that just was. That's, you know what? Credit Andy Reid for seeing that and looking at that. And that's honestly, that was a huge pivotal thing. In
Mr. McDonald's, man.
Hey,
smartest
you know
coach.
what? Put some respect on his name, though. Dude is a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and he has orchestrated this entire Chiefs offense to work with players that honestly, would you have ever expected Sky Moore, Isaiah Pacheco, Juju Smith-Schuster, McCole Hardman to be, Kadarius Toney, that was the other touchdown.
It was a rebuilding year.
Yeah,
they traded away Tyreek Hill, and this was a rebuilding year. And everyone was like, "Oh, there were people saying Chiefs weren't going to make the playoffs." They were saying this is just going to be a year that we let the Chiefs be the Chiefs.
I didn't think the Chiefs were going to be that. I remember because I think we had this conversation on the podcast earlier this season or last season this year, or last year, whatever. Is that I didn't think the Chiefs would be very good anymore. I didn't think that they would have any of the, just everything that Tyreek Hill brought to the table, I thought would not be recreated by the diversification of the Chiefs wide receiver corps. But you obviously thought and said, hey, they're going to be just as good, and they were, which was incredibly surprising. Not incredibly surprising, I guess. It kind of just shows how good Patrick Mahomes is as a quarterback, personally. That dude is really, really, really good. And for being able to, and Travis Kelce also, I think a lot of credit has to go to Travis Kelce as well. Dude is the number one wide receiver on that team, even though he's a tight end. And he is easily one of the biggest reasons that they won that game as well. Him, Pacheco, Mahomes, Chiefs O-line for not letting up any sacks.
Great offensive line.
A lot of credit to Chiefs offense. Chiefs defense did just enough.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the first half they did not do enough. The
No.
second half,
They did just
I will
enough.
say the second half it was equally the Chiefs kind of figuring it out a little bit, but also the Eagles' offense
It was kind of
really
stalled. Yeah.
They looked like they were trying to put it in cruise control, but they did not.
You never, as Super Bowl 51 is 100% a telltale sign that you never, ever, ever, ever put anything into cruise control in a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Never. It's 100% all the way through, or you lose in the overtime with a stupid Rex Burkhead touchdown, and it makes me cry in front of my friends and my dad. Yeah.
But the guy calling those offensive plays for the Eagles, we're going to be seeing a lot of him next year.
We will. You know what? Again, credit Chiefs. Congratulations on the Super Bowl run. 100% deserve it. Not scripted. Whatever.
No, never.
We're not going to talk about that anymore. Congratulations to them. But I am excited about the Colts' future with the Eagles' offensive coordinator and Shane Steichen, who's now the Indianapolis Colts head coach. After, thankfully, it's not Jeff Saturday. You know what? Credit Jeff Saturday. Appreciate him taking the heat going in there as literally ESPN analyst man to head coach of an NFL team.
Yeah.
I appreciate all that. I appreciate the time and effort that he put in. I appreciate his drive and his love for the Colts franchise as well. But you know what? I'm glad that we hired someone that has probably more of a chance of us winning a Super Bowl under than Jeff Saturday does.
I will say, with Jeff Saturday,
yeah,
the guy who came in to be the interim for the Colts was never going to be the guy.
No,
Never.
I agree.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
Anybody taking that job knew full well what the experience was like. You are in a dumpster fire season with what has been.
At that time, it wasn't even a dumpster fire.
It was a dumpster fire.
It wasn't
Andrew,
great.
It was
Andrew. We
Andrew.
were one game below 500 at that point.
Dumpster fire.
That is not a dumpster fire.
The play
we
was
beat
terrible.
The Chiefs.
The defense was
We beat the
inconsistent.
Chiefs.
Matt
We beat the
Ryan
Chiefs.
couldn't get anything going.
We did beat the Chiefs.
Frank
though.
Wright.
We beat the Chiefs.
Doesn't matter.
We beat the. Okay. By the way, technically, Colts best team in the NFL last year. Yeah.
No.
Yes, we beat the best team in the NFL. We are the best team in the NFL.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I will say, so back to my
Just
Jeff
saying.
Saturday point. It was what was going to be a dumpster fire of a season.
Fine.
And
Disagree.
whoever was going to come in was not going to be the permanent head coach, was not going to lead a revolution.
Correct.
The person who came in was supposed to right the ship, take the heat, and get dumped on for a couple months.
And then get it over with.
And Jeff Saturday stepped up and said, "This is my team, and I'll do that."
Yeah, and I appreciate it. And I do genuinely appreciate it.
And I have a lot of respect for somebody who would do that, knowing. I mean, he was very like he said a lot like, "I'm here for the long haul. This is like a trial run. I want to." I feel like he also didn't believe that, but he was putting on the best face for the franchise.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I don't know if you know about this or not, but I think Jim Irsay, there were a lot of reports that Jim Irsay legitimately wanted Jeff Saturday to be the head coach.
It's Jim Irsay. He probably did.
Yeah, but but from that perspective, I do 100% get that. So thank you. Appreciate it 100%, Jeff.
Quick question before we move on.
Okay.
At what point do we look at Chris Ballard as a potential issue in your organization?
After this year.
After this year, if it doesn't go well?
If this year, if there are not very large, I think he was a large piece of the problem to last year. Our offensive line, 100% his fault. The continued rotation of quarterbacks, originally Frank Reich's fault, but at this point is probably his fault.
Mm-hmm.
We don't because we haven't found a permanent answer, and he's just kind of been letting Frank Reich or not even Jim Irsay, just been kind of willy-nilly throwing somebody in there. So the quarterback is his fault. I think our wide receiver corps.
Oh boy!
Our wide receiving core is largely his fault as well. I don't think that our wide receiving core is worth really anything. I mean, we have two. I don't think we have a clear number one. Pittman, he tried to give him a shot, didn't work out really. I think he's great. I think he's really good, but I don't think he's a wide receiver number one.
I don't think anybody.
Love Pitt.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Or Alec. The Alec kid, I can't remember. His name
Alec
right
Pierce.
now. Yeah, everyone was like, he's wide receiver 1.
He's wide receiver 3.
What planet?
He's wide receiver 3.
Guy's on the bench.
He's the third string.
It's not great.
Yeah. He was not stellar this year. So I think O-line kind of just letting it fall apart and not re-signing people that needed to be re-signed, and just promoting Danny Pinter. As much as I love Danny, Ball State grad, W. Did not work out. He's really, really good at center, not good at anywhere else. I think so. That was Chris Ballard. Quarterback's Chris Ballard. Wide receiving core is Chris Ballard. I think our tight ends are great, so that's good. And obviously, running back's great. That was his choice of picking Jonathan Taylor, but it's not really his fault that Jonathan Taylor got hurt. And our defense, I think he's done a good job there, but it's just kind of not worked as well as he would have liked, I think. And obviously, we got key players injured with Shaq Leonard and with other people just Kenny Moore was out majority of last year as well. I think our defense is actually pretty good, but that's credit Chris Ballard. But if we continue to have another bad year this year, I think we look at Chris Ballard if there are obvious pieces that he did not find that could have been found.
Yeah. And then, Shane Steichen.
Shane Steichen.
Steichen?
Shane Steichen, yes.
Okay. He's got the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
They're potentially going to be bringing in a franchise quarterback. He's got a lot to work with in the offseason, and that's good. Speaking of quarterbacks.
No, but one thing I do want to say one thing about Shane Steichen. One thing that I do appreciate about what I've seen from him and what
he cried in his presser.
Huh? Did he?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I read the headline that said Shane Steichen's not afraid to move stuff around and cry.
I don't know. Did Bob Kravitz write that?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh,
I'll look it up.
Anyway, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched segments of it.
He shed a couple of tears, but
I'm sure good for him.
You're an NFL coach.
Yeah, congratulations.
Speaking of Nick Sirianni crying at the Super Bowl, what do you think of that?
You know what? That's a manly thing. Personally, if I was there,
I would be bawling.
I'd be.
You're like. Not even thinking of the spectacle. Like, yes, you're thinking of this is one of the most watched sporting events in the United States this year. The national anthem's playing. This is all is happening, which is great. Big pomp and circumstance. That'll definitely invoke a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
Also, you're an hour away from either not an hour, probably 2 hours total, away from absolute glory, or
like 4
coming
hours.
all this way for nothing.
Yeah. No.
And you're about to coach one of the toughest games in your career.
And I think personally for me, it's just like the fact that you made it there.
You made it.
That's just that whole the gravitas of everything. You're throwing in the fact that it's the biggest event for Americans at least in sports, and then just how many the whole spectacle of everything.
Yeah.
What it means, what it is. Like it is the Super Bowl. It's the biggest thing, the best thing that you can do in your position, and that's what you literally work years and years and years for. To get there and get the opportunity to do it, that's awesome. I would probably be shedding a little bit of a tear, personally. So I 100% get it. And you know what? Credit Nick Sirianni. And credit the fact that he could have been the Colts head coach and instead he's coaching another team into the Super Bowl.
That's a whole nother story.
Real
quick, on emotions in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Kelsey Bowl.
Yeah.
Come on.
You know what? We didn't talk about that. We also didn't talk about the field conditions. Once we get done with, can I say my quick thing about Shane Steichen?
Be my
guest.
Just
real quick. And then we'll get into Kelsey Bowl and Field Conditions Bowl.
Oh,
and then,
also, first two black quarterbacks.
Yeah, congratulations to that as well.
I feel like so many people did not talk about that.
We'll get there. Well, jeez. Let me say my thing. The thing I like about I'm sorry. The thing that I enjoyed about what Shane Steichen was talking about in his press conferences and stuff, or at least a general message, is that he's not a buddy coach. My dad has been very kind of verbal about not liking that as well. I think Chuck Pagano and Frank Reich were two buddy coach. I mean by players coach.
Yeah,
like it's a guy that it's not really a motivator. It's more of a you're really really good at it. We'll get it figured out, and then he gets mad every once in a while. But he's not like a on you all the time, my way or the highway kind of thing.
I will say Chuck Pagano and Frank Reich are bad examples of what a player's coach should be.
What do you mean by that? Should be or
Doug Peterson is a great example of what a player's coach should be. Dan Campbell, great example. People want to play for those coaches.
Yes, I agree.
Frank Reich, Chuck Pagano, Jeff Saturday, even bad examples of coaches.
I don't know if Jeff Saturday was a player's coach.
I don't think he was there long enough to really do much.
I think he was more of a motivator.
He's
kind of guy.
Like, hey, we're here.
Like, fire.
How
under
are you doing?
He actually put in a lot of passion and effort into it. I feel like, but I feel like Chuck Pagano and Frank Reich didn't take a whole lot of personal responsibility for a lot of things in my eyes, and I feel like they were again more player oriented than mission oriented, and I feel like Steichen is more of a hey, we're gonna be on you. This is a job. This is work. I don't care if you're the greatest quarterback of all time, which we clearly don't have on our team, we're going to do it my way, and we're going to do it the right way, and we're going to do it well. And he also talked about being members and active in the community as well, which is something that Tony Dungy implemented in his successful years, which is something I really liked as well. So hopefully those kind of just more of let's get it done. We have a mission. I'm not going to be nice on you, or I'm going to tell you when you're doing bad, and this is how you can fix it kind of thing will be something that he implements, and I feel as if that is something that it looks like it will be done.
I will say,
yeah.
Last thing we can say on Shane for this episode.
A little bit, yeah.
Good pick. Good.
Yeah, great hire.
Not a home run.
You don't think so?
Eric Bieniemy's a home run.
Eric Bieniemy is not going to take a job anywhere.
The fact that he is not taken. There's talk right now of him going to Washington to be their offensive coordinator, not their head coach.
Which makes no sense.
So my thing is, if he's going to Washington to be their offensive coordinator, there has to be some sort of plan in place that when Ron Rivera retires, he gets to be the head coach.
For me personally, if the fact that Eric Bieniemy hasn't been hired by now, there has to be some sort of personality conflict with it.
I don't think it's that. I think it's a little bit Sean Payton-y, where I'm not going to go be your head coach unless you give me exactly what I need. Maybe he understands how hot of a commodity he is.
But like the fact that he has been like a recruit for what? Since they won the Super Bowl with Mahomes in Super Bowl 54? Yeah. So that's what, 4 years ago now? Like, I don't, or even before that, when they almost made it to the Super Bowl and lost in the AFC Championship game. I feel like he's been like a number one thought process candidate. But for whatever reason, he either just doesn't do it or is never like gets it figured out, or nobody ever hires him. I feel as if it has to be something personal with him. I don't know if it's personality. I don't know if it's demands or whatever it is. But there is something about him as an individual that teams are like, nah. Even though he obviously clearly has the skills to be a fantastic head coach.
Yeah. And
so I don't know.
We'll see how that goes. I like the pick, but I also don't. There's not enough to tell. There's very few head coaching hires where you, like when Dan Campbell came in, I told you guys, we're either going 0-17 or 17-0.
Yeah.
Like that was where I was at.
And we've done neither.
And we've done neither, which is good. Yeah. I would not want to go 0-17. Yep. But like, there's very few coaching hires where you hire a guy and you know exactly what you're going to get.
You had no idea what Nick Sirianni was going to do. He had a horrible presser. Just went to the Super Bowl.
Bad.
And just went to the Super Bowl. So you have I'm hopeful.
Dan Campbell had a pretty weird presser, and he's leading
biting off kneecaps.
Winning team.
Yeah, you know what? Again, he's never had experience before. Don't really know. Eagles offense looked really, really good throughout the whole year. So I'm excited to see
it in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, they looked really good in the Super Bowl. I feel like they were still a really good. They really performed.
Second half wasn't pretty, but
yeah, but I still think that hopefully it'll go well. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah.
Talking head about field conditions.
Okay.
Where are we at? They dropped what, $800,000 on a very bad field.
$800,000. That is
$800,000,
and grew it for 2 years, all for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So for those of you not in the know, basically the NFL wanted a really good quality, whatever special field. So they spent $800,000 and spent 2 years growing out the field for the Super Bowl, except they painted it because it didn't look good.
Yeah.
Or something. So they painted most of the field. Like, not just the logos. They painted the grass.
Yeah.
And it was horrible.
I don't know if it was the paint. I don't know if it was the grass. I don't know if it was Rihanna's halftime show that people were talking about that messed it up.
It didn't.
I think people were slipping before. I think it got worse in the second half, but people were still slipping in the first half pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't know why you debut a new kind of grass turf
at
thing
the Super Bowl.
That is, why? And this is a topic, or this is something that Dylan Selke talked about in the Fantasy Express radio show that I popped on to yesterday actually. Shout out Fantasy Express, Bryce, Zach Greer, Dylan Selke do good stuff. Go visit them at Fantasy Express on Instagram. They do good things. I'm also on there every once in a while. Shout out them. Anyway, Selke talked about why was no one testing this field out prior to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
The first teams to physically be on the field
were the Super Bowl.
Were the teams that are playing the Super Bowl. So like if you don't know nothing about this grass, why are we not testing it out prior to this? And then why are we not just using the same grass we were using all year in Arizona? Because I didn't hear anything bad about grass in Arizona.
I just heard a lot of bad about the football team in Arizona.
Yes, correct. And then from what I heard, again on the Fantasy Express, this is secondary source. Apparently, the only run through that they had to test the field was AI generated.
Yeah, that's probably not great.
No,
I wouldn't trust it right now.
Yeah, why throw out a Pee-wee football team out on there to run and test around in it? Play a bowl game on it, like the NFL field testing bowl, and throw Ball State in there to test the field.
Well,
yeah, I don't know.
It's a stretch.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like something, or like run practice on it or something like that. To test it out. And this is the reason that people are coming up with the conspiracy theory that all year people are talking about how bad turf is for NFL players, and this is the NFL's way, or the NFLPA was. This is the NFL's way of getting back at them and being like, "Ha, you know what? Grass fields are terrible. Look at this. This is a Super Bowl." Yeah. And this is just to like have people back off from saying every single team needs to have a grass field and not have turf field anymore, which I can low-key kind of see, but I doubt that the NFL risks their entire this needs to go absolutely perfect for the NFL.
And it didn't.
It did not because of the field. So I don't know why they would risk the thing that probably generates a huge portion of their of their money and their PR marketing, all that kind of stuff. I don't know why they would risk that just for people to say back off.
We'll never know. We'll never know what the NFL does.
I don't get it. I doubt that it was a conspiracy theory ploy to stop turf fields or grass fields from being in every stadium, though. I doubt that.
But I do think grass field should be in every stadium.
They probably should. Yep. Not that grass field.
Yep. Detroit is replacing its turf field with grass field.
That'd be awesome.
I'm very, very happy about that.
I think the Colts turf is pretty all right, though. I think that we have a pretty good turf, personally.
I mean, I haven't heard of a lot of injuries in
Colts
Indianapolis,
maybe
have
good turf. Yeah.
We'll see.
Anyway, interesting choice.
Yes, interesting choice. Wouldn't have done it myself. First two starting black quarterbacks on either side of the ball in the Super Bowl. A great moment for both.
For both sides of the ball, you mean, right?
Yeah, like both teams.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, both sides of the ball. Yeah, but both teams, great moment. Very good. I don't think it was talked about a whole lot.
I was surprised that it wasn't.
I thought it would have been talked about a little bit more, but...
Congratulations to both
congratulations to both amazing quarterbacks. I think
both deserved to be there.
I think we'll see them there in years. I mean, I think Mahomes is
100% Mahomes. We'll see
getting to an unstoppable level.
Yeah,
and Jalen Hurts, for being a second-round pick, he is everything and more that Philadelphia wanted.
I agree. And okay, so this is something that was brought up. Okay, so we talked about the field conditions, right? We talked about both Mahomes and Jalen Hurts in there. Was there anything else that we needed to talk about Super Bowl-wise?
Kelsey Bowl a little bit.
Oh, Kelsey Bowl. There we go.
I will say, Mama Kelsey was on top of the world for a whole week.
What is up with their dad? Are they divorced?
No,
or just people just don't care about their dad?
The dad got some...
I saw literally nothing about their dad the entire time. She wasn't even sitting with her dad. She was sitting with Roger Goodell and Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, I thought that was
weird. I saw a picture of that. It's just with the caption of when the teacher assigns group projects or the group, and it's just Roger Goodell, Mama Kelsey, and Damar Hamlin up there sitting. Why was she not with her husband? I think
he was in the box.
Yeah, but I
think you know what? There was probably a spot where they said, "Hey, Roger, you and Donna and Damar need to go sit down together, and we're gonna get a shot of it." That might be.
But nobody ever. She was getting interviews and everything. Why was their dad just left out of everything?
Their dad got a little bit, and they talked about it on their podcast that he got his flowers too. But
I didn't see any of it.
I don't know, but
I don't know why it wouldn't be both of them.
Did you watch? Do you listen to the New Heights podcast at all?
I've seen clips every once in a while. Listen, I honestly probably need to listen to the whole thing now because I saw a clip of Jason Kelsey crying about
because
their mom.
Because Travis said, well, yes. So the moments after the Super Bowl when he saw the mom was very emotional. But then Travis basically was talking. He was like, I messed up in my football career, and there was a period of time where I couldn't play football because I messed up. But you never gave up on me. So the story goes at Cincinnati, Travis Kelsey was actually kicked off the football team because of bad behavior. But Jason Kelce lobbied for him to come back to the team and basically told the coaching staff, we will share a room. He will live with me. Anything he is responsible for, I will be responsible for, and basically made it possible for Travis to come back to the team and eventually get drafted and be in the NFL.
Correct.
And he had a whole moment where he thanked Jason for that, and I'm not gonna lie, I shed some tears.
Yes,
it was a moment. But yeah, a very good, and honestly, like, it's a win for Mama Kelce either way.
And Father Kelce
and the whole Kelce clan.
Yes. Again, I don't know. I just don't understand why he didn't get the same level of credit as the mom.
Well,
I don't know.
I will say, 9 times out of 10, moms deserve more credit.
I get it. I just felt
Mom
bad.
does the majority of the job.
I get it. I just felt bad for the dad. Just like he was like, it just did not get.
Maybe he didn't want to be.
I don't know. Maybe that might be it too.
That's
true. I don't know.
We're doing a lot of speculating right now, but
it's just sitting up there with DeMar Hamlin and Roger Goodell. Yeah. It's just a random thing. But anyway, before the Kelce Bowl, after the Kelce Bowl thing, what I was going to talk about is at the end of the season here. Season's over. Can you give me your top 5 quarterbacks right now?
Yes, and I think this is a great way to round out the podcast.
Yes.
I think next week we will talk a little bit about XFL and USFL, which will be starting.
Yeah,
we
could talk a little bit, like 5 minutes about that. You want to go?
I mean, it's starting.
A little bit,
it's starting this weekekend. I think XFL's on Peacock.
No.
Oh, no, it's not.
Sorry. So I'll explain because I know everything. I have the XFL app, by the way.
There's an XFL app?
Yes, download it.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, so the XFL is starting this weekend. There are 2 games on Saturday and 2 games on Sunday. All 4 games will either be on ABC or ESPN on this first week.
Oh, ESPN,
yes.
That's what it is.
So ABC and ESPN are the people that are broadcasting all of the XFL games. They'll either be on ESPN, ABC, FX, and ESPN2 and ESPN3, I think. Or there's like 1 or 2 games on ESPN3. Throughout the season.
USFL's on Peacock.
USFL will be on NBC, and I do believe sometimes and Fox.
NBC puts it on Peacock.
Yes, and
so
then NBC and Fox have
Yeah, which I think is really interesting.
Yes, have co-rights to the USFL, and that starts in April. And then the XFL is only owned with TV rights by Disney and ABC. So the XFL starts this weekend.
Very exciting stuff.
Yep. And our boy Drew Plitt is, from what we've been hearing, will be the starting quarterback for the Arlington Renegades.
We've got a horse in this race.
Again, I'm sorry, Drew. I already told you that you had to be drafted by the by the St. Louis Battlehawks. You weren't. That's your fault. I'm still rooting for the Battlehawks, but I will be rooting for you. So your fault. Your fault for not. You told me. You literally said, "Hey, I'll get drafted." Nope, didn't happen. Renegades.
Hey, it's okay. He's playing.
I know. Yeah, but congratulations to him. He's going to be starting. I'm excited for it.
We'll see what we can do about getting him on maybe after the season.
Yeah.
Talking about what the expansion experience is like.
Expansion?
I mean, it is an expansion league.
Yeah, sure. You know what? And by the way, I have a thought. So the XFL starts now. The USFL starts in April. Let's let Drew Plitt. Let's tell Drew Plitt when we get him on to kind of tell the higher ups like The Rock, because he's going to have a really good relationship with The Rock.
He should come on our podcast.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Let's get The Rock in here. We have a one-step. Sure, because I'm sure Drew Plitt, he's starting quarterback in the XFL. Rock is the owner. Yeah,
we can do it.
Yeah,
we can do it.
But also, I think you should tell The Rock that he should contact the USFL and let's team up for like a Super Bowl.
Oh, like a USFL.
Bowl.
Oh, that's like it's like an AFL, NFL.
Correct. Championship game.
I like
USFL,
this idea.
XFL
No, I like this idea a lot.
I think that's the only way that both of them survive. Personally.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, one of them's gonna have to merge with the other one, or they're both gonna go, or one of them's gonna go and the other one's gonna stay. There's no way both of them are gonna coexist for the next couple.
I would like that idea though.
Yeah.
Like a little Super Bowl.
Bring it in. Mini Super Bowl.
Okay, so back to what you were saying.
Yeah.
How we're gonna round out the episode. With the conclusion of the season, top 5 quarterbacks. We'll go 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2.
Okay.
All
right.
Public apology. Earlier this season, I said that Patrick Mahomes is not the best quarterback in the league based on performance.
Insane,
and
by the way.
I said he was 2.
Who would you say was number 1?
Josh Allen.
I
think. I'm not sure. I will say based on form, Josh Allen was playing really good. But much apologies.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a spoiler. He is my 1, but my number 5. So I would like to highlight this. I'm not going to say he's 5.
Yeah.
But Jared Goff, according to NFL statistics, is the 8th best quarterback in the NFL this year.
Well, that's not
4,438 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 61.1% completion percentage. He's doing great.
So you're just.
I'm just highlighting it because our quarterback did better than your quarterback this year.
Which one?
Either of them.
All three of them. All three of them. Yes.
But okay, so I will say Trevor Lawrence is my 5th quarterback.
Interesting.
Based one on his performance this season, he did very, very good. Led the Jags to the playoffs. 66% completion percentage, threw for over 4,000 yards, 25 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns to go. So he has been mobile, and I think he's looks very good for the future of Jacksonville.
Good.
He's my 5.
Okay. My number 5 is Justin Herbert. I think that when I look at quarterbacks and kind of like test how good that they are, I think he's a fantastic talent. Like him as an individual player has so much upside as a quarterback. It's crazy. But every time that it comes down to like playoffs and stuff, and they just blew it to the Jags in my thought process, and they really haven't gone anywhere. They made the playoffs once, lost, and blew it to the Jags, and that was a lot of it was on him personally, and at least in that second half. So I have him at number 5. I think there are 4 quarterbacks that are better than him, have had better success overall in their careers, and I think that I would rather have. I don't know. This is not necessarily based on like, ooh, I want this person on my team. They're better than him. This is more just like I feel like better quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I will say part of my reasoning, I will say Herbert's not in my top 5. Part of my reasoning to put Lawrence in my top 5.
You have Lawrence over Herbert?
Yes.
I think that is crazy.
I think it's close. I think Herbert's the 6 and Lawrence is the 5.
I think Herbert has shown more than Trevor has.
I think
Trevor's only had 1 year.
Yes, and in that year, I think he's shown more potential to win a Super Bowl sooner than Justin Herbert.
I disagree, but
you also got to think about where that franchise is going. I think I have more faith in Jacksonville than I do the Chargers right now.
I'm interested to see who your other 4 are then, because that's definitely a reach for not having Herbert up there.
Oh, it definitely fits the bill. My 4 is Josh Allen. I had him at 1 midseason.
I have no idea who your top 3 are. I know who 2 of your top 3 are. I have no idea who your number 3 is.
Oh,
I'm concerned.
But I like Josh Allen. I think he is gonna be 4.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to get higher than 4 until the Bills make/win a Super Bowl. He can be a good quarterback. He can be a gunslinger. He can be whatever you want to call him. But the fact of the matter is the Bills have not performed in the postseason the way we've billed them. The respect and the attention that we give the Buffalo Bills, they have not earned it in the postseason.
No, I can understand that.
Also, he has 13 fumbles and 14 interceptions to 35 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, no.
He fumbles more than any other quarterback in the NFL.
I agree. He did not have a stellar season, in my opinion.
I thought the first half was great. They were on fire.
I don't know. I did not. I was not high on the Bills this year.
Okay.
Especially not Josh Allen for whatever reason. You know what? I'm starting to think I know who your 3 is, and I think that is awful. Anyway, my number 4, I think this is a respectable number 4, Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Lamar Jackson has earned the number 4 spot. I feel as if him as just a player overall is a game changer. Dude can turn it on like that and win games and is unstoppable at sometimes. I think he's a fantastic player, won an MVP. I think that he's had success in the postseason more so than Justin Herbert has. I think he can take over a game more than Justin Herbert can. Especially, a lot of this is based off last year Colts game.
Mm-hmm.
That dude was on another level. I think Lamar Jackson does not get enough credit sometimes. I think he's an absolute game changer. He can run, but he can also pass pretty darn well.
He passes better. He's so for context,
people knock on him, but I think he's really good.
For context, the NFL ranks him at 12th. And my reasoning, I think he's closer to. I think he's probably in the 7, 8, 9, 10 area, and mainly because of his injury history.
I'm not including that personally.
I am. I'm also thinking about these quarterbacks going into next season and in the future.
Yeah.
We also don't know if he's going to stay with Baltimore.
Yeah. No.
So I really think for me it's an injury thing, And for me, it's mainly that. Can
Yeah.
he compete at that high level? I remember his MVP season was wild, and he was he was elite. He was lethal. He was like teams needed to plan around him. But can he keep up that elite level throughout his career? And that's my worry.
Again, and this list that I'm making is not based on if I was the Indianapolis Colts and I needed one of these quarterbacks and I can have whoever I want.
Okay.
This is my list.
Okay.
Because I would take Herbert over Lamar Jackson right now.
Yeah.
Just, again based on injuries. But I think that he is a better player and quarterback over Herbert. That's just me.
My 3, what do you want to guess?
Jalen Hurts, and I don't think it should be.
Jalen Hurts.
That is insane.
Is not my 3.
Oh, thank God.
My 3, and it's
I don't know who it is.
It's razor thin between Hurts and Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is an elite passer.
You have Jalen Hurts at number 2?
I do have Jalen Hurts at number 2.
You are an insane man. Jalen Hurts isn't even in my top 7.
That's wrong. You're wrong for that.
No.
You're wrong for that.
No.
You're wrong. Okay, so let me talk about Joe Burrow for a minute.
Oh my God.
Let me talk about Joe Burrow for a minute.
No, you cannot. You cannot put Jalen Hurts over Joe Burrow.
He is one of the smartest quarterbacks in the NFL.
Insane.
He is one of the most mentally mature quarterbacks in the NFL for being in his 3rd year and suffering an ACL tear in his 1st year.
Blasphemy.
He is smart, mature, can make decisions on the fly, reads the defense, reads his offense. He is what you want in a franchise quarterback.
And he's your number 2,
And
he should not be number 3. He has by.
Oh, you're saying Joe Burrow should be higher.
I'm saying Joe Burrow should be number 2.
Okay, so this is a whole different.
I'm saying Jalen Hurts as number 2 is blasphemy.
Okay, who's your number 3 though?
Josh Allen, clearly. I think that's a clear choice. I think my top 3 are any sane person's top 3.
Okay,
that's just me.
Okay,
the fact that you have Jalen Hurts in the top 2 is insane.
Okay,
that is.
Okay,
and I think Dylan Selke would rip your head off.
Well, good thing I'm not hanging out with Dylan anytime soon.
I don't. And I also think that Bryce Greer. A lot of people would disagree with you on that.
Well,
a lot of people would.
Keep going. So
I don't know.
So you're Josh Allen 3.
Josh Allen is 3. I think Josh Allen is. I think most people's and most individuals' top 3 are. I'm just going to go rip my top 3 right now just because we've talked about them and everyone clearly knows who number 1 is. Mahomes. Easy. Number 2 is Burrow, and number 3 is Josh Allen. 4 and 5.
My reason why Josh Allen is not a top 3 quarterback.
Yeah,
2 words: turnover liability.
No, I get it. I understand Josh Allen not being 3, but it would have to be either Herbert or somebody else at number 3.
I don't think Herbert is
or Lamar, but I don't think Lamar's 3 either.
Okay,
I don't think there's any reasoning for Jalen to be number 2.
Jalen Hurts is my 2. I think
that's crazy.
I think the guy's been overlooked all year. He is not a system quarterback. Except, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith were great additions to him this year, but that offensive line was a little bit shaky, especially in the postseason.
So you're telling me right now, though, that if you were offered, as the Detroit Lions, Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow, you want Jalen Hurts?
No, I want Joe Burrow, but...
There you go.
But going into next season, who has the best momentum? Jalen Hurts.
I just don't.
Coming off of a Super Bowl?
Then again, also I did say that I had Lamar over Justin Herbert. I still take Justin Herbert,
which is so yeah.
But I think that you have a little bit too much recency on that. That and Joe Burrow has been to. I think Joe Burrow has done more than Jalen Hurts and has accomplished more than him.
Well, but also
they've accomplished the exact same. But also in Super Bowls.
Joe Burrow was expected to do that. He was the number 1 overall pick.
He was. It doesn't matter.
He was expected to be that guy.
Where you were picked in the draft should not matter.
No, but it does a little bit. It does a little bit.
So.
Jalen Hurts was not expected to be this guy this soon in his career.
I don't think that matters on skill level, though.
I believe it does. If we're talking trajectory of a career, do you think if Tom Brady was drafted number 1 overall versus 199? There's a difference in how you perceive him as a quarterback. Yes. The answer is yes.
Sure, yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It's because
I just don't.
It's because Jalen Hurts is blowing away everyone's expectations for him as a quarterback.
I get it, but
Joe Burrow is doing what everybody thought he was going to do.
Yeah, but he's doing it better than Jalen Hurts personally.
Okay.
That's just me.
We'll agree to disagree there.
That's
Number
just
one.
me.
Number one is Patrick Mahomes.
Obviously, there is no debate anymore. If Tom Brady was still around, he'd be my. I'm kidding. No.
I will say, and I mean, just to add a little bit more to my reasoning for
Hurts, or for what? What?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
We're getting so close to the end here.
We're getting real close to the end.
Anyway, let's go back to Mahomes. Mahomes, clear and obvious choice for number one. I think that's everybody's number one. It should be everybody's number one.
I will say he threw 12 picks this year. Not great, but he's still a good enough quarterback that he could throw 12 picks, and he's still the best quarterback.
Dude ran for 25 yards on one leg.
Yeah. What did they have? What did they give him at halftime?
They gave him the perks.
They gave him everything in the medicine cabinet at halftime. Did you see him come out and he was like, somebody was talking to him, and if they had a shot of him, somebody was talking to him, and he was just like, halftime show was good.
I think Aaron Rodgers low-key came into that locker room and said, "Here you go, bud," and just gave him whatever he wanted. I think you got the Aaron Rodgers special for that second half because dude was not in this universe. There's no way
on a different.
There is no possible way that dude had any clue where he was or what he was doing.
I will say,
it's all just
slight
instinct.
Worry. He's done this for couple of seasons now
where he's just been hurt in the Super Bowl.
He's just played in bad injury situations.
Yeah, that's concern. That is concerning.
That might be a concern long term, but right now, best quarterback in the NFL.
Oh, of course.
Let's talk about that halftime show for a little bit. Rihanna generational halftime show. You can't tell me otherwise.
I can't tell you otherwise. She put on a performance, but not a show. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I disagree.
It was a great performance by her, singing wise and everything. But for a halftime show, I'm looking for sets, outfit changes.
I'm not. She focused on her hits. She played the bangers. She has so many that she didn't get to all of them.
As an individual who's not a Rihanna fan, I want other things other than just songs.
Yeah. Well, I think
also I'm a football fan, so I really don't care about the halftime show.
I thought it was very good.
But that was weirdly enough, that was the highest point of viewership in the Super Bowl, though, which is disappointing.
And oh my gosh, the camera angle of her, like while she's hitting diamonds, and it's like lower when they lifted up her platform and they lowered the camera angle, and she's like, dude,
yeah,
also baby reveal at the Super Bowl.
Congratulations to her, by the way.
Come on.
But you know what? Again, it wasn't for me.
Probably a top 5 show for me.
Last year's blows out everybody. Sorry. Last year, you gotta say last year's was awesome.
I loved last year's.
There you go.
I mean, with
Thank
all
you.
my heart,
That was a show.
That was a show.
That was a show. And this was a show, and it's over now.
It is over now.
I'm working on my transitions, and it's getting better.
So proud of you, Andy. Thank you so much for joining us. Ben Hamilton, all my apologies in the world.
And Patrick Mahomes.
And Patrick Mahomes. I apologize.
You apologize
more.
I
cannot
apologize enough.
I will say, as we end this NFL season, and we're not going to talk about the NFL a whole lot until draft season, I called out the Chicago Bears on one of our first episodes, and I said, duh, Bears are bad at football. And the next week, I apologized for that, and I take back that apology. The Bears suck at football. That's all I got for you today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, technically TikTok. We are consistently hitting a 2 p.m. slot for podcast recording. So Fridays around 2 p.m.
We'll be live on Red Bull.
Live on Red Bull. You guys have a wonderful week, a wonderful weekend. And Andy, hit him with it.
Underqualified Knuckleheads country. Let's ride.
Let's ride.